What's up, YouTube? FatKings Phil here again. I was going to wait till the weekend to make another video, but I did get to see my surgeon yesterday, and we set a date. So it's like we're getting married. No, but yeah, so we did set a date, July 16th. So I have pre-op goodies on the 15th at 2 o'clock, and then the 16th is the big day. So I'm officially crapping my pants. It's very real all of a sudden. Obviously, after going from wait to full speed ahead, I made some comments about this already. You know, it's been kind of crazy. So I got my pre-op diet list, and I was surprised because there's actually a solid meal on there once a day. So it's basically like a protein drink of sorts. And they have a ton of listings and options here too. So they're not prescribing a specific one, but and you can mix it up. But breakfast, lunch, and mid-afternoon snack is all protein shakes of some kind or protein puddings. And then dinner is like 3 ounces of a protein like fish, chicken, whatever. 4 ounces of sweet potato, and then like say a cup of broccoli. So sounds like a pretty standard low calorie, low fat diet. So yeah, okay, 10 days. I mean, I'm actually going to snap my before weight after that diet. And the reason is that I've been bouncing around a lot lately. When I was on my 6-month diet, I kind of got down to about 330-ish again. And then yesterday morning, it was like 340. And when I got to the doctor, it was 350. So I'm using my scale first thing in the morning, like normal. I'll do that the day of before I leave to go have surgery, and provided I survive, which I know I will, but you know, not the same. So yeah, so I will post that in the next video, so we have it as the baseline beginnings. And I'm also going to do something, because I've heard a lot of you guys say this. I'm going to do full body measurements on Sunday beforehand, so that I have all that. I can keep it from before, and then should I hit a stall, which, you know, it's very possible. A lot of you guys did, and you know, it's the reality of this thing. I can do the measurements during the stall to see if I'm having non-scale victory. So just to keep the positivity going, because positivity, you know, success breeds success, if you will. And I can tell you that not succeeding for the last 6 months to 2 years and really struggling has bred just exhaustion. So, I thank you so much for the shout outs, especially on VSG Bear. I appreciate it. And I'm posting my video right side up today, though. I was going to do it in honor of you. I was going to turn it upside down, but that was awesome, actually. I kind of laughed because you went through all that trouble of getting the camera mount and working really hard to get it more stable. And then all it takes is to put it in upside down. I've done worse. So thank you. And then there were some other positive responses to the last video. And then there was a question. Diana1 Nicole said, the VSG makes you lose weight by restricting food intake. Do you have anxiety about having your food restricted that way? Like literally you cannot eat more than a certain amount. Okay. Yeah. You physically cannot eat, but do you think VSG will resolve the emotional hunger? My problem, I don't think, is really emotional hunger. I've got 2 problems, and my doctor just flat out came out and said it yesterday, actually, to my wife. You know, he's like, look, you've heard of genetic disposition for not losing weight. Well, he's got it. You know, he can eat, 2,000 calories and work out and still barely lose weight or not lose any. So we have to do something extreme. And in order to do an extreme restriction of calories, I mean, could you do that on your own? Yes, I could eat 600, 800 calories a day, and that's it. I'd be miserable. I would be hungry. I would be fatigued from being miserable about the hunger, I'm sure. And I'm sure I would not be a very nice person. So I'm not really worried about that. When I do overeat, it's a taste thing. And I will tell you that that inhibition gets worse if I drink. So like if we go out for a night drinking with the guys, which is pretty rare, we do it a couple times a year. If somebody says, hey, let's stop by such and such truck and pick up a taco or whatever, then is the time where I'm most likely to order more than I really need and eat more than I should, which, with the slow metabolism doesn't help. So I'm not too worried about it. As a matter of fact, I'm thankful for it, because I know this happens to everybody, and I'm going to try really hard not to let it happen to me, but I'm sure it will. Once you have that restriction there, you just go too far, there's a negative reinforcement for that. You puke. So I detest puking. I mean, I would rather be sick an extra 3 days from the flu than to puke once during the flu, which sounds stupid, but I have forced myself not to throw up and felt miserable for more days because of it. So that's a really good thing, I think, for me. So I'm not worried about it, no. And I do appreciate the question. I don't think emotional hunger is my normal problem. I'm not saying I've never been there. I'm not saying I've never eaten emotionally, but it's not my go-to. It's really not. Matter of fact, during some of the more stressful times of my life, I don't eat. That's the one time where I just have lost weight from stress. And right after I got divorced, and then when my dad passed. So I didn't really gain a lot of weight either time. If anything, I lost weight. So some other stuff came up in the community, and I just wanted to kind of tag up on it because Sarah was mentioning, people who had previous surgeries and then had revisions, and the surgery did kind of fail them. And I understand what she was trying to get at there. And I think that she said that some of the people who have the revisions don't feel like they're part of the community. And I would, say, or that they're made to feel like they're on the outside of the community. I would say that that's probably got, last time I was talking about how my perceptions may influence things, whether or not they're really there or not. Like, for instance, not getting a job or not, getting a date or something with someone, you start questioning, is it because of my size? I think because we've all failed over and over and over at diets and exercise programs, and, not that we're not doing the work, it's just we haven't succeeded with those things and gotten to where we wanted to do. And we've gotten to a place where we are willing to pay a stranger to stab us in the stomach 5 times and take out 70% of a major body organ. I don't call that easy. I call that a last resort. And I think that people at the same time will beat themselves up. I certainly know I do. My most worst enemy will beat themselves up over the failures that they've had in the past. And like I was kind of getting at, success breeds success earlier. Failure breeds more failure. Failure, it makes it harder for you to try to succeed. So, sorry, I get an itch here. I should warn you guys that my whole city is on fire right now. I'm in Colorado Springs, Colorado. The smoke's been horrible. Sleeping's been horrible. Breathing's been terrible. But I'm fortunate because I'm far enough away from it where I don't have to worry about all my possessions being burned up. But that's kind of going on in the background. So I apologize if I'm blinking, touching my eyes a lot. It's pretty unreal. And you don't sleep well. I'll tell you right now, here's another thing real quick, sidetrack, sorry. When there is a fire near you and you wake up to the smell of smoke, there's something very primal from way back in the day that triggers in your brain, and you are awake right now. I mean, you are 100% awake. There is no slowly waking up. That smell of smoke triggers some kind of fight or flight defense mechanism, which is good and save your life if you're nearby the fire. But if you're miles and miles away from it, it doesn't help your sleeping pattern much. So that's why I'm a little off today. Anyway, so kind of getting back to what we were talking about. I apologize. So now that the date's set and, it's real. I did have a moment yesterday where I was I've been very introspective about this since I kind of decided to make this decision. But yesterday or even earlier today, I was really sitting there thinking like, what is wrong with me? Why do I have to go to this extreme to get down to a normal weight? Like, I really started turning this opportunity into a negative in the sense of like, this almost became my badge of failure. The fact that I'm doing it at all was my badge of failure. Like, I've failed. I have to go to this extreme to do this thing that other people seem to have no problem doing. And that's where you guys have really been, and I really popped onto YouTube today and started watching videos from pre-ops from some of the people I've been watching nonstop. And that really made me feel a lot better. It made me really realize that there's just a certain group of us that this is our solution. And we did try out everything else, and we did it earnestly, and we didn't fail. It just didn't work for us. It's like Edison said, I haven't failed. I've just found 1,000 ways that didn't work. So I found all my ways that don't work. There's that little bit of fear still that this won't work. I don't think that's a realistic fear, like I said. And there's other fears, I'm not going to lie. There's fear I'm going to die. Nobody's ever died. My surgeon never had anybody die on him. Never even had a major complication. that's probably not a very realistic fear. And I was watching a whole video today on your chances of dying on anything. And, there's much easier ways to die in your normal everyday life than worrying about something like surgery. I am scared that I'm gonna have some kind of horrible side effects, which, again, I haven't seen that. I don't know what a good example of that would be. But, just like the unknown, I guess, is what's kind of freaking me out. Some of the things, and I wrote these all down, so I'm just kind of reading them. What if it doesn't work for me? That's a realistic thing. I mean, I guess it could not work for me, but I do think I'm going to lose slower than many of you, just because I am dispositioned to have a very efficient metabolism. Maybe something will trigger in my system once the surgery happens that changes that, shocks my system. I've been reading some articles where, weight loss surgery can even change genetics a little bit. So we'll see. I'm not going to rule it out. I don't know if I believe it or not, but I'm not a doctor. So, I've been big like this my whole life. What's it going to be like to not be big my whole life? Like, I don't really remember 245 that well. I remember 270 because of the things I could do and the things I did do, but I don't remember what that felt like. I just remember what I could do. You know what I mean? So that kind of was freaking me out a little bit. I'm a little worried about the way people treated my friend when he lost a lot of weight. I just saw a lot of people who used to talk crap behind his back, all of a sudden were wanting to date him or, hang out with him and stuff. And I mean, I'm not worried about that now. I'm older. He was much younger when this happened, but, I just am worried about how am I going to be treated different. That we'll deal with that. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. That Sarah kind of triggered that concern with me because she was having some issues where she was addressing, self-image even. So how am I going to feel about me? But I kind of put that on the back burner and said I'll deal with it if and when it happens. And not that I'm minimizing it. It's just I'm just trying to deal with the things that are on my plate right now and defer what I can. It's the project manager in me. I'm a little worried about muscle mass loss. I'm really strong. I'm not bragging. I'm certainly not somebody who brags about themselves. And if anything, I'm quite the opposite. But I recognize the fact that I'm very strong. For a guy my size, I can work like a horse and not slow down at all. And that losing that ability, am I going to lose that ability? Will that be gone? Will I not have that ability to do the things I can do now? I mean, I certainly won't be able to muscle things around with my body weight, but will I still be strong enough to like work and have the kind of endurance that I have now? We'll see. Maybe I'll have more, maybe I'll have less, but it is a concern. We talked about the hair, terrified of that. We got a little bit growing out now, so kind of there, but that's just because I was too lazy to shave my head and my face today. You can have one or the other, YouTube. You can't have both. And then let's see. And then I think there's just some stuff that I worry about. How's my relationship with my wife gonna be impacted by this? I do know that that's a very realistic thing that people that lose a lot of weight, or statistically speaking, anyway, people who have weight loss surgery tend to have more marital issues after the fact, or during the fact. So again, let's deal with that down the line. So those are kind of the things that are in my head, and where I'm at. And, so between now and the 15th, we're actually have to start the pre-op diet, I think on the 6th. Yeah, that sounds right. 6th or 7th, 6th or 5th. Either way, 4th of July, I'm going to have, my father-in-law and my sister-in-law out to visit. We're probably going to go out and do some stuff. Between now and then, I'm going to really try and kind of start a sort of pre-op diet, just to keep the weight maintained and down a little bit if I can. And then hardcore right after they leave, because I'm sure we'll go out for 4th of July and stuff, at least for a couple dinners and stuff. But again, I can mitigate that by just eating really well before they come out. And then when we go out, once one dinner is not going to kill anybody. And then from there, it's just full on dealing with the pre-op diet till the day of surgery. So it's kind of where I'm at. I don't know, YouTube. But thank you guys for all the videos you've put out there. And the ability to go back and look at those has been really helpful. So thanks.